tonight. Sorry about the loud hit. Today, Monday, June 1st, call to order for the Faribault Planning Commission. Do we have?
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Chair, a motion to do what?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm still off from the day. Item number 2, approve agenda.
I'll second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 3, approval of the minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a first and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, so just a little bit of background about the Planning Commission. We are a recommendation board to the City Council. So what we will do tonight is we will have a public hearing, and we will have one of the city staff present it to us, and then we'll have some discussion up here after they are done. At that point, we will open up a public, for the public to come up. When you do come up, you can come up to the mic. Please state your name and address, and then you can view your point or this point with whatever that is being talked about. Once everybody has had a chance to speak, we will then close the public hearing, and we will bring it back here for any questions from the commission to the city or to the applicant. And then we will vote, and again, that vote will be on a motion that will then go up to the city council for them to take a look at. And with that, public hearing, which is 4A, Faribault Homes, 924 First Street Northeast. It's a conditional use permit for the preliminary plat, final plat, and variance. And Harry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the applicant did submit the applications that you see in front of you for Faribault Townhomes. One thing that they did not submit at the same time was a common interest community plat or a CIC plat. That is their intent as they move forward, and so they're actually requesting that you continue discussion on this item until the next Planning Commission, where they'll be able to bring forward, or staff will be able to bring forward the CIC plat alongside the project so that it's one complete package.
Do we have a motion?
Chair, I think, and Harry, correct me if I'm wrong, we've got to do public hearing, right? Was it advertised as a public hearing?
Yes, it was. We can do public hearing tonight. There would also be public hearing or an opportunity to do a public hearing at the very next meeting.
Mr. Chair, the reason I ask, I just didn't want to jump ahead of it, but and I'm fully fine with this, and I'm prepared to make the motion to defer this for 2 weeks. I just didn't want to prematurely get in front of if you want to call for a public hearing.
To the public, is anybody here with any concerns or questions about 924 First Street Northeast, the Faribault Townhomes? If you are, okay. Well, let's go ahead and do the public hearing. And Harry, did you want to do a presentation first, or?
Again, Mr. Chair, we're not recommending that we review this tonight. We're recommending that this item be continued on until the next meeting.
Mr. Chair, and again, I mean, I'm not trying to make it complicated, but if it was advertised as a public hearing, do we have to have the public hearing now, or can I make the motion just to defer this whole thing for 2 weeks?
You can continue it to the next meeting.
Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Chair, and thank you for that. My motion would be that I move that we continue this discussion along with the public hearing for 2 weeks until our next meeting on June 15th.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, we're going to, this carries, so we will do this again in 2 weeks. I believe June 14th is the date. Item number 5, items for discussion. Resolution 2026-01, modify Faribault's tax increment development district number 1 and establish district number 21. Harry?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. So this is a item that's in some ways more of a formality. It's a tax increment financing district expansion request, and really the request in front of Planning Commission is to determine that, generally in terms of this tax increment finance district, is this within the boundaries of the comprehensive plan, and consistent with the comprehensive plan. And really, what I would refer to would actually be Exhibit A within the packet. That, if you notice, actually follows the same boundaries as the Hill Block project. The Hill Block project is requesting a TIF district or a tax increment financing district, so this is related to that. There's not really a whole lot for me to talk about here. Our city attorney has recommended that we do this just to be completely sure, to dot all the i's and cross all the t's. I'm happy to provide some insight on this, as well as Dave Wamberg here, the Community Economic Development Director, but if we start to get into a whole lot of specifics, I'm going to be quickly out of my wheelhouse. So with that, I'm happy to answer what questions I can answer.
Mr. Chair, if I could, and I'm sorry that I'm doing most of the talking here earlier, but I don't remember Planning Commission touching TIFs a lot. All we have in front of us is the resolution and a map of Faribault with a dot in the middle of it. I can't intelligently vote on anything here, absent, like, what is this TIF district, because the language in the resolution, City Council proposed to adopt modification development program, development district number 1, which I don't know what it is, modifying the boundaries of development district number 1, which I don't know what it is, follow the legal corporate limits of the city of Faribault. Okay, I know where the city limits are. I have a lot of questions.
Sure. Yeah, and Mr. Chair, we can go through the resolution, which would hopefully kind of answer a few of those. So the resolution, if we're going from the first whereas, it would be to adopt a modification to the development program for development district number 1, modifying the boundaries of development district number 1 to follow
Harry?
the legal corporate limits of the city of Faribault. So,
Harry, sorry, can you bring up the map so we can see where District 1 and District 21 is?
I'm not plugged in.
Oh.
Dave, would you be willing to pull it up?
I don't have.
I'm not plugged in. I don't have.
You want me to give you the?
So,
Thank you.
okay. So what we had previously done, the most recent time that we had done this was actually in 2024. And admittedly, I did not spearhead that. Again, you kind of have the unfortunate aspect of talking to the two people that are not the lawyers involved in this. And so we're trying our best to guide you on this. Basically, what has happened is that over time, the city of Faribault has made the entire corporate limits essentially a development district. And what we've done within the development district is we've outlined certain locations where a TIF district may be beneficial for the project that's within it. You'll notice that one of them happens to be, an area within what I would say is like our northern industrial park. This most recent one is downtown, and as I had mentioned before, it's related to the boundaries of the Hill Block project, the Hill Block condominium project. So all the resolution is saying is we are looking at another TIF district within the overall development district, which includes the entire boundaries of the city. And I'm trying to find the right one to go back. And based off of our comprehensive plan, where we intend to have new development, development of certain types, that this TIF district would actually be supporting that plan, that it would allow the city to move forward with the goals and ideals within the comprehensive plan. In this case, we've talked about this before with the Hill Block project. It's if you want to call it an infill project or rehabilitation of the existing buildings that are along Central Avenue. It's bringing back more housing into the downtown area. It's also revamping and providing new high-end commercial spaces downtown, right directly onto Central Avenue. And so, when we start to look at different aspects of our comprehensive plan, we find that this is what we intend to have downtown, is more people living and more opportunities for businesses to locate and then thrive within downtown. So the TIF district is going to support that. And so the question in front of Planning Commission is the idea of having this TIF district within or supporting the comprehensive plan for the city.
I guess my question to you is, I assume that the entire corporation, the entire city limits were already included in a TIF district. So in this case, we already have some that are different parts of the city, and now we're going to be adding just a few, or should we incorporate it so the entire incorporated city is part of the TIF district?
Mr. Chair, I'm not sure that I understand the question. And I
that's-
apologize.
No, that's okay. My question is why is the entire city not considered a TIF district instead of why are they separated out into these smaller places? Because I'm assuming there's other TIF, like the woolen mills would probably have a TIF district. So are these
Sure.
always
Yeah.
just when something arises that we then add another district, or should it just be the whole city?
Mr. Chair, so TIF districts largely come out of, at least in my perspective and from my experience, have been out of new construction or reconstruction of properties. And it's a financing tool that then would help the property owner, hopefully come a little bit closer or actually become a financially feasible project. So it's a tool in the tool belt that the city can use in order to help support and encourage a particular development to go through and to be built. So to do that across the city, I don't know what that would entail. Again, we're starting to get into stuff that is just a little bit outside of planning and zoning. Again, I want to stress to the Planning Commission, this is a formality. So we're not deciding the fate of the universe with the resolution. It's just whether or not a TIF district is a good idea and it's supporting the comprehensive plan.
Yeah.
I noticed that the new District 21 is only 3 buildings. When I think of a district, I think of like a block or, something more substantial. This seems really project specific.
Yes, a lot of TIFs are very project specific.
Okay, so setting up this district is for a specific
Yes.
already coming into play.
Yes, yeah. So very recently, Hill Block condominiums, and I'm trying to recall if you were at those meetings, that project did come through, and so this would be supporting that project. So that's 19 new units that are downtown, as well as 7,000 square feet of commercial space. And it's reusing the existing building, so we're not talking about, completely new construction. There is an addition in order to make viable use of the second and third floors of these buildings. But it's a
Elevator,
project.
correct?
Sorry?
We're going to add an elevator in the back?
Yes, yeah. So it's a project being spearhead, and it's, this TIF district would support that project.
Yes, go ahead, Chuck.
Mr. Chair, thank you. I want to start by saying I have voted for more TIF districts than I can remember in my life, including a golf course at one time, which I still remember a state legislator screaming at me 20-some years ago. So I'm not anti-TIF district. I get TIF districts. I think they're valuable. I think everything else. I'm just a guy sitting here on the Planning Commission trying to do my job right now. And the second whereas, the commission has reviewed the modification and plan to determine their conformity with the general plan of the development and redevelopment of the city. I got a map and a 2-paragraph memo. I can't vote in favor of this tonight. I just don't have enough information. I don't want to appear that I am anti-TIF, but I can't vote for what we have in front of us. So it would either, I mean, I also don't want to create boxes in a corner where we vote it down. So this could be something that could be put off.
Isn't this just supporting what was presented to us previously? Big project, they presented rebuilding design for an second one, yeah, we don't know much about, but first one I get totally. But the second one is just, second one? On the map, the one that's up in the north.
Yeah, Chair, if I can add to this, it might help a little bit. But District 1 is really just showing where TIF districts can happen in the city. They follow the boundary of the city. A couple years ago, the city annexed that property at the very far north end of the city into the city, but the TIF District 1, Development District 1, was never changed. And as a result, if somebody did want to do a TIF there at some point, it would need to be added in. So the general practice of the city is to, as you add land to the city, the intent is to make sure everywhere in the city that wants to have a TIF is within the Development District 1. So it's essentially all it is doing is adding the land that was annexed in 2 years ago, or a year ago, whatever that was. So that's that. In regard to the Hill Block project, the commissioners are correct. The Planning Commission does not review TIF districts in detail. That is intended for the EDA and the council. There's a public hearing set up for that coming up on June 9th with the council. So that is set for June 9th, and the intent is to have this approved, saying that from a planning commission standpoint, you're recognizing that having, increasing the area for development TIF 1, which is that north part of it, is consistent with the comprehensive plan, right? It's within the city limits. And then downtown, that there really isn't any reason from a planning commission standpoint, to keep that out from a TIF district. So this is scheduled for a public hearing coming up on June 9th, and the attorney has suggested that we just do this as the planning manager noted, as a acknowledgement that from a planning standpoint, is consistent with the comprehensive plan to have these areas in the city. But you're again not recommending approval of any specific project associated with the TIF. You're just saying that TIF 21 in the downtown area is an area that can have TIF.
Questions? Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the TIF zones?
We have I think it's only one zone. We're just approving the 21. The
No,
number
you're
21.
approving this resolution, which increases the District 1 to follow the city boundaries, as well as acknowledging TIF District 21. So it's one motion to approve that resolution that the attorney wrote.
Not have a second. Do we have another motion?
I will note, if there, I guess there isn't, yeah, there's not a motion. So, yeah, a second, so.
Do we have another motion?
Mr. Chair, I have a question.
Ed?
I hear him that this is scheduled for the 9th, and I'm honestly not trying to jam you guys up. But when I see language that says, I've reviewed the modification and plan to determine the conformity, I haven't really reviewed anything. That's all I'm saying. That our chair is supposed to sign a document that we reviewed something, we didn't review it. So can someone rewind the last 10 minutes and tell me what we just reviewed?
I feel that many of us have been confused by this, and we're still trying to absorb it.
Mr. Chair, I'm not confused. I just, what have I reviewed? What modifications have I reviewed in the last 10 minutes? Tell me that. Give me a good, clean sentence, and I can vote in favor of something. But what have we reviewed?
So the one thing again is, and if you look at the map at there again, that area, District 1, is just intended to follow the entire area of the city. Right now, there isn't any recommendation or from the Planning Commission that that's fine. You know, acknowledging that that was annexed into the city, so it's really just noting that that was annexed into the city and it should be available for TIF at some point. So TIF, or Development District 1, let's expand it to that area. So that's number one. And then number two, again, the Planning Commission does not review the details. We haven't heard anything with a public hearing. This is just essentially saying it can go forward to a public hearing on, it doesn't say in the resolution, but June 9th, as an area to consider TIF. And again, the Planning Commission is not involved in TIF. It's the EDA and the council that deal with that. The attorney just suggested, it hasn't always happened, but as Planning Manager Davis noted, in 2024, you approved exactly the same resolution, except instead of saying TIF District 21, it said TIF District 19. Same thing.
Chair? That checks the box for me of that we've reviewed something and talked about it. I would, before I make a motion, I would ask that if this comes in front of us again, we have a whole lot more context and background of what we're voting on. And I know that's not your issue, but that was the city attorney that put this hand grenade into your lap. So I'm actually trying to give you some ammunition to go back with, that if we see this again, Mr. Chair, now that we have satisfied at least my question on the review of the modification and the plan, I would move that we approve Resolution 2601.
All right, we have a first and a second. Do we have any discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, item number 6, commission updates.
Mr. Chair, I currently don't have any commission updates for you.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure if Tina was here, she would want to say thank you for having the agenda in this. Just wanted to say that before we call for adjournment. Motion
I'll make the motion, we adjourn.
first. Is there a second?
A second.